My hair protects me from places I shouldn't be. When I first heard about the legalization of discrimination against people with locks in the workplace, I can honestly say that I was not surprised. In actuality, I thought it would be a wake-up call for us to say, hey, we need to come together, we need to have our own communities, we need to have our own businesses where we can hire people that look like us, and we can just not have to worry about white corporate America. But instead, as I sat back and listened to people's feedback and how they felt, what I saw was that people weren't about coming together. It was more about, I'm already assimilating to your culture. What more can I do? Or what more of myself do I need to change to be accepted by you? One of my first encounters with discrimination in the workplace was when we needed to hire somebody on our staff, and our first set of reviews for applicants wasn't based upon their credentials, it was based upon their name. So we weeded out all the ghetto sounding names, and we weeded out all the Hispanic names, and then my manager said, all right, now let's look at the qualifications of these people. And that took me totally by surprise, being like in my early 20s, but just realizing what corporate America is really like. My hair protects me from places I shouldn't be. My next thought when I heard about the discrimination against people with locks in the workplace was the children and how much self-hate, or how much more self-hate, it would inflict upon them. Especially me being a mom and then having gone through having natural hair and locks in the beginning of the movement of natural hair when it wasn't popular. And I just felt really bad for the kids whose parents are probably like, see, now you're not going to get a job because they don't hire people with locks. I told you not to get those locks, now you'll never get a job. How do you think that's going to make your child feel if you're telling them they can never succeed by being themselves? I remember personally the struggle and the arguments and the doubt I had when my family, most of it was my family, some of it was my friends, telling me, why are you going natural? Why are you getting locks? Those are bad. You shouldn't get those, or you'll never get a job. Or having to see my cousin, who's a black male, sit back without a job, unemployed, a recent college graduate, because he had locks. And once he cut his locks, he was able to get a job. Or how seeing prominent black figures like Steve Harvey take a group of black men on national TV and have them cut their locks off and say, now you look better. Now you can get a job. It's good you don't have those things on your head. You don't have dreadlocks. Now you'll be successful. How do you think that makes the youth feel who already don't have self-identity, who already have a hard time loving themselves? And you see that reflected in the black on black crime, because we don't have the image of ourselves reflected as kings and queens and gods. Instead, we're treated as if how we look is reflective of our worth, and that the way we choose to be, or that when we're our natural selves, we're less than, which is not the case. My hair protects me from places I shouldn't be. The third thought that crossed my mind when it was legalized for discrimination against people with locks in the workplace was, damn, history is just repeating itself. I can't tell you how many times in the hair industry, as a loctician, as a cosmetologist, I've heard people tell me, the hair industry is just like a pendulum. Sometimes people are going to swing to chemicals, and sometimes they're going to be natural, and then it's going to keep swinging and going back and forth, which is fair. Trends do happen that way. However, if you look at the movement that has happened with natural hair since about 2006, so it's been about 10 years, you see a decline in relaxer sales, as many men and women are embracing their natural hair and they're not going back to relaxers. And I see that behind the chair because people are at the point where they're like, hey, I don't really feel like dealing with my natural hair right now, so I'm either going to do a big chop and cut it all off, or I'm going to get locks. and just let it be and just let it, naturally flow. But in the minds of people that are profiting off of relaxers, that's not a realistic option. You can't do a big chop and buy less products, or you can't get Locs and I don't even have products for you. So I'm going to eliminate one of your options. I'm going to ban Locs from the economy. I'm going to ban Locs from you getting employment and you making money. So now your choices are, hey, I either got to do a big chop or let me just get a texturizer, which is a relaxer, so that I can, have some time. I don't have to worry about my hair as much. And then you see how easily that pendulum shifts, or is forced to shift, back to relaxers and to begin to make profits for people other than the Black community. My hair protects me from places I shouldn't be. My last thought was really just about the community and how people that actually had locks felt about it. So, I sat back and, read on social media reactions. I asked my guests how they felt about the ruling. And for the most part, what I discovered was that people that just started their locks were more so like, damn, like they would make this ruling when I just decided to lock my hair. I really don't know what I'm going to do. And people that have had locks for years were just like, this has been happening. It's sad. It's disheartening. But, it is what it is. If you don't want to hire me because of my hair, don't hire me because of my hair. My hair protects me from places I shouldn't be. The silver lining in this situation is that this ruling was only made in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, so it doesn't apply across the nation or across the United States. And also, this case has not been presented to the Supreme Court, which would, almost put it in stone. So essentially, it was spread like wildfire and made to seem like everywhere in the United States is now legalized to discriminate against people in the workplace. But in reality, it was really just the state of Georgia. But they don't tell you that, though. You got to dig a little deeper for the truth. And your hair is just hair, but your head is your crown. And what you choose to put on it or put in it is going to be reflective in how high or how way down your head is. So don't get discouraged if you're graduating from college and feeling like you're not going to get a job because of your hair, because there is somebody that's going to hire you. Whether they're a Black-owned business or whether they're a white-owned business, if somebody wants to discriminate against you because you have locks, they'll do that. They don't need a law to do that. And we have to show our future, our children, what it looks like to be strong and what it looks like to be Black in America. Because my hair protects me from places that I shouldn't be.